What's happening? Whoa. Now there's two of me. Goodness gracious. Be right back. Technical difficulties right out of the gate. All right, let me get through my Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the most superintelligent force of love and creation possible at the highest levels of vibrational frequency, also known as my own nature forever. What's happening? Benton here. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to the replay crew, if such exists. Miss Zinger, what's up? A bit possessive there, don't you think? I kid. No, she said, "My man, what's up?" I'm gonna take that as that's more of the dude, right? Like, what's happening, bro? Or the dude, bro. The ladies are down with the dude, bro talk nowadays. Have y'all noticed? Anybody notice this? I'm weaning myself off of the coffee, but yes, good to see you, Rachel, as always. I'm weaning myself off of coffee, and this will be the only cup of the day. I'm already looking forward to the second round of my egg drink, and we're about to hit the road. That's right, folks. It's road tripping time. I'm sure there will be lots to discuss. We're leaving Van Buren, Arkansas, technically. Checked out of the motel this morning, got my $100 deposit back. Some people say $100 deposit. What the fuck? I'm glad they do that. Because, sometimes people tear shit up anyway. West. Yeah. And, at least this way, they get to keep the people's $100 when they tear shit up or make a gigantic mess. So I'm all for it, personally. Yeah, so I wasn't quite sure how this was going to go. It was 4 nights in the motel. What was that? Right at $200, I guess. And I had considered going down and visiting my grandmother down in the southern part of Arkansas, and I'm still a bit conflicted on that. And I got my business done. I got my tags renewed, which was actually way easier than I thought it would be. I guess I've been so traumatized. I'm joking, but whatever trauma I've been subjected to in the past with dealing with the government and such, it was way easier. I did not even have to go to Baxter County, Arkansas, which I'm happy to report. And unlike the last road trip, when I left from LA and headed east and ended up driving a truck for 7 weeks, and I did that on $120 in gas. Yes, that's the true fact. A little bit of tire vibration here at 75 miles an hour. We might have to slow down a little bit. I have to get that checked. The old Versa is running tip top. You'll be happy to know. Love these little cars, man. Fantastic. I recommend nothing, but I love these little cars. Great little cars if a person knows what the weak points are. But I don't want to get into that just now. Mm. And the only business that I considered doing was in Little Rock. So for $12, we're able to get a copy of our birth certificate if we have, I think it's driver's license and maybe like car registration. Oh, and I think I mentioned yesterday, yeah, I'm down with the real ID now, I guess. I think I talked about that yesterday. And I had also talked about, because I got my driver's license renewed for another 5 years. Or is that 4? However that works. I think it's 5. Um, and I'm a bit all over the place. We're a bit scatterbrained out of the gate, so bear with me. Maybe this coffee will help. Mm. But I actually still have my birth certificate. It's just beaten up. It's gotten beaten up. I thought I safely and securely stored it underneath my seat in Los Angeles, but somehow it ended up taking quite the beating down there in the floorboards. But technically, it's still legible and such. So And then I was thinking, well, if I go visit my grandmother today, I would also be able to swing through Little Rock and get that birth certificate. Part of the reason I'm conflicted on seeing my grandmother, who I would like to see, I think more so she would like to see me. It's where she lives is a bunch of my relatives or our relatives. Selfishly, I know this may sound bad. I just don't really want to deal with them. But at a certain point, uh, I'll end up preaching all this stuff that I've been talking about lately. And, my grandmother's a devout Bible believer. And unfortunately, she's a big fan of the Gospel of Paul. And I remember one time because she used to study the Bible every day for many, many years, decades. She got all on fire for the Lord one day and was talking about how wonderful Paul was. And I remember hearing that and thinking, I don't know about all that. And the more I looked into it, uh, everything Paul supposedly wrote in the Bible, I still look to some of that as true information, but overall, I view it as intentionally fucking bastardized and intentionally in service of antithesis and evil. And I believe that's what the Machine Lies book is about, mostly, from the way I understand it. Oh, yes. Welcome to Oklahoma. Here we are. No longer in Arkansas. We barely made it to Arkansas. Well, that's not true. We actually went all the way. Well, we stayed on the western side of Arkansas, now that I think about it. Entered in Texarkana. 70? Hell, it's 75 in Arkansas. What the hell is this, Oklahoma? Better slow my roll. I had I was spiritually attacked 3 to 4 times yesterday at the Walmart Supercenter. We will get into that, certainly. I did a little bit of preaching afterwards. The spirit moved me, right? And I told them, I didn't tell them off. I didn't tell them what I thought of them. I used that energy. What do they call that? Transmutation, and preached on truth. So back to my grandmother, talking to her on the phone a couple of times. This is my mother's mother. My father's parents are both dead, deceased. They got up out of here. Congrats. As more and more videos hit my feed about Hell Realm, now the normies talking Hell Realm. And that's okay. But ain't nobody going to do a dad burn thing about it now, are they? Ain't nobody going to do a dad burn thing about it. Yeah, back to Granny. That's what we call it. Even with her on the phone last time, she was mentioning something about, and I used to talk about this too, not that long ago, so I can't be mad at her. But this idea that, God hates evil, and the Bible talking about to hate evil. Say, listen, what I am doesn't know hate. What I am is unable to experience hate. So what are we even talking about here? But I can't be, I don't want to be correcting my granny, 90-year-old granny. So I don't know if I'm down for what would end up being a several-hour Bible discussion to some extent. With my uncle would show up because he lives next door and he'd be hanging around. And we don't always get along that great, although he is actually intellectual and thoughtful, believe it or not. Well thought. He's a thoughtful guy and takes care of my grandmother. So he's a blessing certainly in that way. But and then his wife, uh, I view as demonic, sort of infested by mid-level demons. But I don't know. I used to be infested with some demons myself, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I was projecting. She's never really done anything to me except be hospitable, right? I'm against the matriarchies. It's a matriarchy down there. She runs the show. I think that's ultimately what my beef is. I just don't like that. Which realistically, I don't live there. Why do I care? Um, you know, am I now making the case for I'm headed the wrong direction? And then the comic, the comedy of, what if I turned around and started headed that way? I'm not that far out of route. I would probably just change my mind again, right? And then what am I going to do? Spend the weekend in Little Rock? Hell, I'd probably end up down in Pine Bluff where I'm from. They got a casino now. I'd probably end up down there playing poker. Meanwhile, it's the only poker room I've ever been banned from, and it's been so long. That was back when my foot was still broke. Uh, I'm pretty sure I'm unbanned by now, but I don't even want to play poker. I thought about heading to Philly, and they got a lot of action there. They got a lot of pot limit Omaha action in Philly, Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. I guess that's northeast of Philly. Poker until I start, I'm sorry, pay $100 a night for a room until I start losing, or lose right off the bat and leave right away, which might be the best case scenario. But what's that? A month of we'll go on a win streak and hang out for a month, and then as soon as I start losing, I'm going to be like, that was fun. Get the fuck out. At that point, might as well just stay a month in Fort Smith at the cheap motel, right? One of the few places in the country where a person can wander in off the street and $150 cash deposit and $700 cash a month for a little hovel of a room. I thought about it, but then I would end up wanting to go get my computer set up, if that's even possible. I think it's easier to just YOLO and not even worry about it. And for what it would cost for a month in the motel, hell, I could buy me a little computer setup. But at that point, I won't have nowhere to set it up. And gradually, we're getting rid of all this bullshit that stacks up in this car. Because I enjoyed my time in LA, but by the end of it, man, I thought to myself, I got to get away from all this stuff just stacked up in this car. So it was nice to be able to clean everything out of the car, vacuum the car, clean the windows. That reminds me, I'm going to stop at Dollar Tree en route once they open. I think they open at 8 usually, and give me some new. They sell these. Supposed to go on your windshield, but they're so tiny they don't really work for that. Windshield reflectors. So I stick them up in the windows for when I need to sleep in the car, or I can jump in the back and take a leak if I need to. At times, in a bottle. I'm looking forward to some version of street preaching, and maybe I'll get me some sort of rig for like a tripod or whatever. Since I have this spare phone that I stream from, And I think on my data plan, if I kept it to an hour or two a day, I could probably live stream. And then I'm trying to think about microphones because the earbuds work, but then invariably the passersby might want to put their 2 cents in. It's like, sir, madam, we're live streaming. You're not mic'd up. What's up, EBT? Good to see you. Well, I've completely figured out Christianity, so I don't know that I have the energy to go back through all of that, but Gospel of Paul, all a bunch of hot garbage, although there is definitely some wisdom in there. Because, of course, in order to mislead the folks back in the day, those writings would certainly need to contain some measure of truth, right? But overall, very much not the gospel of Jesus. But that's okay. I'm not here to change EBT's mind. More of speaking on truth in a so-called truth community, right? But yeah, always good to see you, sir. Trying to think. I made it up to Chicagoland one time in the last 7 weeks of truck driving, and I only managed the last 7 weeks. And it's not because of the driving. It's not because of the DOT. It's not because of the pay, although the pay is certainly far lower than it should be. It's everything else. It's the being nagged and harassed and cajoled by the company. It's the fact that the market and the rates and everything have already adapted to the fact that in the next 2 to 5 years, most of these long haul runs are going to be gone to self-driving trucks. In fact, maybe the first 2 weeks I was there, I got long runs out to Phoenix and back. And then once they saw I could actually handle the shorter, drop and hook, but then some of it's live load and some of it gets switched to live unload, but it's supposed to be drop and hook. And then, once they saw that I could manage all of those hours, and I straight up told them, I said, listen, I don't live load, live unload, shorter runs. None of that bothers me. It doesn't. And, but here's another thing, EBT, it's too damn easy. How many times have y'all heard me preach that, especially Americans, our lives are too comfortable. It's just living in a truck and truck driving. It used to actually be fairly arduous on me. I did 7 weeks. It was fucking easy, man, other than the harassment and, being watched by AI or maybe just actually Indians, EBT. I don't know. They could call it AI, but maybe it's an Indian who happened to be watching my camera when I had my phone in my hand and clicked a mouse button, clicked his mouse, and it said the disembodied female voice that usually tells me to please reduce speed. I'd prefer if it was an Indian voice, by the way. Oh yeah, we're already BDBing. I'm trying to break myself of this Tourette's-like tick where I say by the way all of the time. So a word is Bon Jovi, y'all mean. So I'm trying to break myself of this. But yeah, I guess maybe an Indian clicked a mouse. But I would rather it was just the Indian's voice than the disembodied resting bitch face white lady, right? Please reduce speed. And then finally, after 20, I ignore her 20 times. She's like, reduce speed. Like, you fucking bozo. And then I guess I failed to read one of the messages they sent me on this WhatsApp. Because on the WhatsApp, they sent me never-ending messages to slow down and stop speeding. It's like, yo, I've driven damn near 4 years experience, never got a speeding ticket. I'm pretty sure I've proven I know how to motherfucking speed, bitches. But meanwhile, the company is adjusting to, and the company itself is adjusting to the next, when they're going to be able to start finally having self-driving trucks. See? And in fact, the safety manager and the maintenance bitch were both husband and wife used to drive a truck, right? Drove a truck for however many years. And now I guess they've seen the writing on the wall and went to the company side. So yeah, there's still going to be some version of ice road truckers. If I want to drive in a motherfucking blizzard on a sheet of ice with 80-mile-an-hour winds in, January in Wyoming, I'm sure there'll be a job for me. But, As far as just this, hey, let's hop on the interstate and fucking drive 9 to 10.5 hours or whatever it is, 8.5 to 10.5 hours, and then we'll roll out of the truck stop, drive the shift, and then park at a truck stop and be done for the day. That shit's over effectively. Now it's still going to exist for the next 2 to 5, but that's going to be the first It's already happening. It's already people are like, oh, that's never going to happen. No, it's happening right now. If I have freight to be hauled between Houston and Dallas, from Houston to Dallas or Dallas to Houston, I can pull up my Uber Freight app, and it's a possibility that Hirschbach, a trucking company, will be the one that's dispatched on the load, and they might very well use one of their self-driving trucks. It's already a thing, folks. What up, Rachel? Oh, good. Yeah, aware of the revelations. Thank you. Thank you, sir. And anyway, I don't want to get into I don't want to well, I don't like any of the terminology, but I don't want to be seen as overly effusive in my praise towards EBT as an individual. So that's unseemly to actually compliment another human in a nightmare dystopian hell realm. Yeah, of course that's unseemly to just actually compliment another human. And unironically or earnestly, I guess, is actually, that's what unironically is supposed to mean, right? Earnestly compliment another human, especially a male, right? Because males, we know we're all pieces of shit, right? But isn't that part of what ridiculous? Isn't that what it is to be a male? To know on some level that we're a ridiculous piece of garbage, on some level. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, trucking's fucked, and I already knew it was fucked, and so yeah, we got out. What about? I'm trying to think, how much money do we have? We got about $7,300. Well, that ain't too bad and it's not like I'm frugal anyway, but I bought whatever I felt like buying during the 7 weeks of work. So plenty of eggs. Oh, and gas went up 30 cents just the 4 days I was in Fort Smith. I rolled into town and I still had I was rolling around town and still had over half a tank. And it was 247. I started to pull in to get fuel. I was like, fuck it. We'll wait. And I thought I was going to have to go to Baxter County anyway. It's like, yeah, I'll have to fill up no matter what. And I guess that was my sign to fill up. Went up 30 cents, but I mean, that's still, I just got 7 gallons. So what's that? $2? I mean, who cares really? I don't give a fuck about $2. Does anybody give a fuck about $2? Senior citizens, perhaps. So I went ahead and got my CDL re-upped. I thought about just turning it in. So we still have a CDL just in case. And who knows, truck driving, because of this transition to self-driving, they're probably dumb enough and desperate enough on some level. And then apparently this speaking the English language is actually being enforced. I did not believe it at first. And especially with it being Arkansas, and I'm just thinking, well, shit, I'm from Arkansas, and all these psyops out of Arkansas. So I said, I don't believe it till I see it. But I've started to hear from actual truckers that I can tell had a brain that apparently it's happening. All these months later, I've started to hear, apparently it's a thing. And I'll tell you what, EBT, if you're still here, way less foreigners. There's still foreigners driving. Way less, sir. When I did my 3 months or whatever that was, 2.5 months, 10 weeks with ART Transportation, and then I did not drive a truck for an entire year, and then I just went back for seven full weeks of driving with no breaks. Way less foreigners. They're still out there, man, but way less of them. What I remember when I was with ART is, I almost had to just push my way through a crowd of foreigners to get into the truck stop. And I'm like, that's not really hyperbole. That's, or I'd go in the bathroom and it was just like, because they act like they own the place, EBT. They really do, which is, look, old Benton don't give a fuck. I got no problem sticking my chest out and saying, one side, fella. Step aside, fella. I got no problem doing any of that. But that just comes in mind. That's just culturally built into me. But step aside. It's a bit of a Benton thing too. But this coffee was a mistake. I can already tell. So now I just want more. But we're driving, so it's justifiable, right? I only went back to it because of truck driving, and now we're on a road trip. So why not? And I remember I got into it with some African in the bathroom because I was basically like, he walked out of the stall and I was headed wherever I was headed. And it was like he thought he's going to walk through me or something. I was just like, bro, what the fuck is this, man? Like, get the fuck out of my way. Like, but not without saying that. And he took offense to it. I'm just like, yo, man, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you, partner. I know you're mad from truck driving and that you're an African, but good Lord, what is this? Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Let's get into yesterday's Fort Smith, Arkansas, right when the Walmart Supercenter opened, 4 spiritual attacks. So first, it's a very minor thing. And some of this doesn't even sound like a spiritual attack. Oh, it is. So I get out of my car. I start walking towards the front door. Meanwhile, remember, it's a depression. People are depressed. The economy's depressed. Economy, of course, is the function of the economy is to make rich people richer every moment into perpetuity. It never fails to achieve its purpose. So just to be clear what I mean by economy, it's depression. Everybody's depressed, right? Now, when I say everybody, there's always exceptions to everything. But most folks, I can just tell by the way they drive, by the way they walk, by the way they conduct themselves. Motherfuckers are depressed, man. And these shot out of a cannon females are all hopped up on Adderall and psych meds and the like, right? God bless them. And some of the fellas, of course. 256. See, I knew I should have waited till I got into Oklahoma. That's all right. We ain't gonna sweat the small stuff on the gas prices. Either way. Oh, that's the Murphy. They ain't even open yet. Plus, I like that top tier gasoline with the detergents. And if a person shops around on Gas Buddy, the top tier gasoline, and look for the top tier sticker on your pump. It's not that more expensive. It's really about the same price as the generic. Might as well get the detergents. Arco, for example, out west, which is the best, certainly. So first there comes a car, perfect. I can already tell. As soon as I see the car, I know it's going to intercept me at the front door. Like, that the little pedestrian area. I can already tell, like, it's going to enter. So I break into a run. So I outrun spiritual attack number 1, thwarted, I outrun it. Then as soon as I get into the store, a woman has gone and got her buggy, and then she just inexplicably turns like blindside into my path for no fucking reason. So then, now it's like, well, Benton's got moves. I'm agile, so I'm dodging her. Spiritual attack number 2, right? I don't even remember spiritual attack number 3, but it happened somewhere along the way. So I got my items. I'm headed to the checkout, and there's 20 fucking checkouts open. There's already 2 people, early birds, in there checking out. I guess I'm off my game. Usually I'm the first one. And I see the bozo, man. I see the bozo corporate worker, corporate slave, corporate shill. I see the bozo old man, older than me, broke down old man. He's, putting the money or whatever the fuck's got to happen with these self-checkouts. So see, this is mathematically, this is fucking possible. So think about what's happening here, folks. This is like win $50,000 on the scratcher mathematics. There's all these fucking, this is how you know it's a spiritual attack. There's 20 fucking self-checkouts. He's at a self-checkout, right? He's tending to the self-checkout. I walk up. So I'm going to go to the one on the other side of him, right? And I could, if I wanted to, I could say, well, it looks like he's almost done with the one he's working on. Maybe I'll just shove him out of the way. See, that's rude, right? I guess that's what I should have done. And now here's a spiritual attack. The moment I commit to the one I'm going to, he starts to verbally admonish me. He's basically like, slow your roll, partner. Not that one. Not that one, partner. Right? And y'all know the autism's already kicking in, right? Shout out to, again, Mark Ruffalo, the Incredible Hulk from the Avengers. That's my secret. I'm always autistic. I'm always irritated. I'm always on edge. Right? That's my secret. So then I get to choose when to let it out or not. So I'm already got it under wraps, partner. So, and then he gives me some version of like, here's what you need to do with this information. And I'm just like, oh man, I might just go to plan B, motherfucker. Like, I didn't say the motherfucker part, but the spirit was there, right? In parentheses, the spirit of motherfucker. And again, I got moves, man. I'm agile. I'm good on my feet. So I bust a fucking spin move back the way I came, right? Swim move, spin move, whatever. You know, it's a bit of a spin move because bit of a swim move because I probably was like throwing my arms up to the heavens, like, can you believe this? In exasperation, right? Like, really? Like, really, Hell Realm? Really? This is what we're doing? And I'm done, man. I'm done with all this bullshit. Every time this happens, I'm calling it out. I just started talking as I'm checking out. I'm just like, yeah, spiritually attacked in the fucking super center. And again, not using the profanity, but the spirit is there, right? I'm like, yes. Why wouldn't I be spiritually attacked first thing in the morning at the super center? I said, hell, that was about the fourth one. I said, I said the first one I couldn't even get in the door. I said I got spiritually attacked in the parking lot. I got spiritually attacked as soon as I walked through the front door. I said, hell, they spiritually attacked me over by the eggs. I've done forgot what that was even about. And I let them live. And then here I am. And I threw in the part. It's like, why do I got to be bad? Because it's an admonishment. It's communicated as if like there's something wrong with me because I try to do what? Walk up to an available self-checkout that has no signs on it. Meanwhile, if he knows that he's about to go to that one, now, meanwhile, is that the last one that he's got to tend to? That's possible. Does it have to be done in a sequence? I guess maybe. Can't he put a little fucking sign on it? Like I'm putting it back on everybody else, just like in the laundromat. It's like, hey, buddy, are you bad at your job? I didn't even get that far with it. I should have. I should have been like, hey, man, are you just bad at your job? Like, what is this? How about you put that little fucking out of order sign or whatever that says? I don't know, register closed. How about you put one of them register closed signs they haven't redesigned since 1988? How about you put one of those motherfuckers over there? Huh? How about that? Or you might cash me outside. Now, he doesn't, no, I wouldn't say that. He's trying to make a joke. But like, what is this, man? What is this? And by the time I got out the door, man, I was just giving everybody a fucking sermon. Dude. It was all, I was telling them everything I had to say, man. And I'm supposed to do that. I'm done with this, man. I'm done living based on, and I know I'll backslide if he's still here. He knows I'm a backslider. Yeah, I'll backslide off of this to some extent, but I'm done with this shit, man. When I got something on my mind, I'm going to speak it. And if they don't like it, fuck them. They're individual. If they're even what I am, they're individuated delusions anyway. What's the fucking difference? Shout out to solipsism. It's crazy. But, and his entire attitude and tone of voice was, Benton is bad and wrong. How dare he not read my mind, right? And then I'm like, look, there's other people checking out. I said, this is scratcher odds. I said, mathematically, the fact that I happen to wander up to at the perfect time to the register this guy claims looks like has to be attended to right now. Meanwhile, I'm scanning my card, bro. I'm pretty sure you could just wait the 90 motherfucking seconds for me to check out, right? And again, I'm not smart enough to figure this out in the moment. I'm actually just now thinking about it. Bro, I'm pretty sure we can one Mississippi our way to 90, right? Can we one Mississippi, two Mississippi our way to 90, sir? And just let me get the fuck out of here? I mean, is it really like, oh my God, it may not, you might put 100 in there. Now it ain't got changed. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Somebody has to go to the fucking cash office. Yeah, I've waited 10 minutes. Dude, let's just take the fucking chance. Like, I've waited 10 minutes. Has this guy been traumatized by, somebody? Did he get cussed out for 10 minutes by somebody who didn't want to wait for their $93 and change or whatever? I mean, what is going on? I mean, listen, in the old days, just tone of voice, that would have been borderline punch in the face. Like, I don't punch people in the face. I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in that. But do you think I would have dared speak to a grown man? Listen to this, EBT. I hope you're still here. He's the help. I imagine being Benton from Southeast Arkansas, born on the bayou, the fucking most punch you, one of the most punch you in the face parts of the country. I had to mind my P's and Q's, or literal punches to the face growing up. Like, for real. Like, I knew how to run my lip just up to the point of not getting punched in the face. Like, for real. In all situations. I couldn't imagine talking to a grown ass man like that back in the day. The help, brother. I told a woman last year, I said, you're the help. And she just acted all offended. She said, the help? I said, yeah, you work here. You're the help, lady. Like, I don't fucking work here. Are you crazy? To go, and EBT knows this, they don't want you in that super center. To go through the front door of that super center, it's some version of I'm going to be treated like I'm the help. Like I fucking work there, right? Like, what is this? Shit's crazy, man. It's off the charts crazy. Off the charts. So I refuse to internalize. Like, I just said out loud, oh, I got to be bad and wrong. Now I'm bad and wrong for walking up to an available self-checkout and not being able to read this fool's mind. And again, some of this is in parentheses. It's more like an attitude and spirit, right? Because I know if I go full Hulk mode, they're going to call the motherfucking cops, right? Or just watch the show and put me on, I'll be on subreddit, public freak out subreddit or whatever, right? It's one of the two or both, I ain't trying to have them come put the bracelets on me. But again, I can't fear that, right? And I know how to handle myself. I know how to talk to the popo if I need to. But it's not even about that, man. It's about I got to be able to maintain myself. If I start identifying with the realm too much, if I start identifying with this being real on some level, which it is on some level, right? Because I'm subjecting myself to it. I guess I'm free to just look at him and say, oh, well, I guess I don't need all this bullshit anyway. See you next time, right? One day I'll be that evolved. I'll just be like, oh, okay, man, I'll just leave this here. Have a nice day. And just walk out the fucking front door while they're like, sir, sir, sir. I'll just fucking leave, right? I mean, that's the solution. Just it won't fix anything, right? I'll just be like, at that point, it won't be worth it. I'll just be like, I guess I don't need the eggs and the 2.5 gallons of water and the fucking the limit's bad enough, right? See you never. I mean, what else is there to do about all this, right? And the days of me saying, hey, get the manager down here, that shit's over with. The manager just argues with me too. It's like, yeah, I want to argue with two stupid people, Meanwhile, I've managed to intelligently skip the argument with the first dumb person. Why am I going to call the manager down there so I can argue with an idiot, right? And really, I think I will call the manager down next time. And by the time they get there, I will be putting a 1-star review on Google. And I'll be like, hey, I just wanted you to see that this is what's just happened here. And I'll click send, like, right as they look at the screen. That's what I should do. I mean, really. Hit them where it hurts, right? Wait till they walk. I'll say, oh, I'm glad you're here, and type the manager's name into the review, right? And not out of vindictiveness, just out of like, hey, I know this will actually get your attention here. Have a nice day. Right? And I'm not going to do any of this, clearly. It's fun to think about. In a thought experiment, in a heaven or hell realm, manifesting as a hell realm. And, this is like a stand-up comedy act at this point. I might as well hit an open mic, right? I could most of what I've talked about so far, I could just go up on stage and people would laugh at this. I mean, they really would. Ha, 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 ha. Yes, sir, it is a dystopia. Ha, 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 ha. Look at how foolish we are. Not fixing a dystopia. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, we're not able to fix dystopia on account of our psychological control. Moloch's machines controlling our psychologies individually. We lack the ability to reform dystopia. It can't happen. But the only way I would have talked to another grown ass man the way that man talked to me would have been if I already assessed the situation and said, well, this guy's not going to punch me in the face. And I don't know, maybe he did that. Maybe he's just like, yeah, this guy's also not going to punch. Nobody punches anybody in the face. And I'm not even calling for that. It's like, it was a less horrific society in a way. Right? And I don't even need to be treated with respect. It's just, so then the actual spiritual attacks, see? So this spiritual attacks work. They stack the spiritual attacks on me. And and in a way, and I'm not dumb, but in a way, I allow myself to get lulled back into a sense of false security, right? So I get to the motel. You can't make this up. So I get out of the car with my 2.5 gallons of water. It's all in one, big thing. I got my eggs and my 2 lemons. I'm completely capable of carrying this. Meanwhile, I waited tables for 3 years. Let's have a carrying things contest. I'm probably going to score pretty well, right? Like I'm pretty good at this overall. Yeah, I know I'm fairly scrawny these days, but I can carry shit. So some lummox, right? Some bozo lummox, as soon as I round the corner to start heading for the front door. And by the way, BDB, word is Bon Jovi, y'all mean. I'm trying to break myself and saying, by the way, so bear with me. I mean, well, I'm in the process of that. So I'm punishing myself by making myself say all of that. So the first thing that happens, and most of y'all can't relate to this, Rachel probably can, but most of y'all can't relate to this. I'm so good looking, I get stared at. Now, it's not even that I'm good looking, although I am. And people leave when I start bragging on my looks. So basically, I'm like a 7.5. Like, but TikTok and social media has so infected people's consciousness that they're even way more looks conscious than they used to be. So I've been walking around at a 7.5 all my life. Like it's neither here nor there. It's like, yeah, some number of people find me attractive and like me, my personality, and I just stick to my own, right? Now it's like I'm getting undue amounts of attention everywhere I go based on being a 7.5 as a guy. That's how sick society's become. Sick, sad world, sick, sad society. Bro, I'm not out here as a fucking George Clooney or some shit. Like, for real. I'm a 7.5, which is, for a 49-year-old male, is fairly rare. Let's just call it what it is. Right? I mean, it's not, and especially in Arkansas, the second most obese state of all, apparently. Right? And I'm, a buck 35, maybe. Right? But either way, what's it matter? So I'm becoming like a hot chick, man. Have y'all ever, really was feeling yourself and there was some hot chick somewhere and you were like, I'm going to get this broad's attention. And they have a really hot broad has a high level ability to never look at you somehow. And it's almost like at a certain point, I'm like, damn, this bitch is unbreakable. And I just finally realized how to spot that sign in a really hot chick. It's just like, oh, she's just not going to look at me, which is fine. So like, I figured it out, right? So I'm beginning to develop this because as soon as I round the corner and he pops out the front door, by the way, anyway, spiritual attack number 500 of the day, he's just staring at me. But he's a big lummox galoot. I don't know, maybe in his 30s. I barely even got to look at him before I figured out what he was doing. And I'm just like, now I'm the hot chick in the scenario. It's like, I have this ability. I'm just never going to look at it. Other than real quick, I got the visual. I scanned him real quick, right? Big old galoot lummox, obese galoot lummox, maybe in his 30s, white boy, fucking ridiculous neck beard, fat boy, dumb as a box of rocks, and just staring at me. I mean, the whole way. Here I come walking, carrying my stuff, staring at me, just staring at me, staring at me, staring at me, staring at me. Right? Again, hypervigilance. It's like, whatever, bro. I get it. You know, I walked around LA for however many months. I understand this thing, whatever. And again, the whole country is now LA oversexed, right? I'm beginning to see that actually built into the culture of Los Angeles is just a layer of a lot of the populace are oversexed, meaning they're preoccupied with sex. They want to be checked out. They want to check people out. Like it's a whole thing, right? So I'm now seeing this whole culture. It's getting, it's everybody's becoming this way, generally speaking, based on the social media, the TikTok, all of this. And it's male and female both, right? It reminds me of the movie Sideways, where the Hayden Church character, the big dude, Paul Giamatti's best friend that was getting married. He's like, Paul Giamatti said something about how women won't even look at him, and then the other guy's like, yeah, man, people, I get checked out everywhere I go, guys too. It's like, yeah, same fucking thing, man. What the fuck? Which I don't care, but good lord, what is this? And I can go leech off of these motherfuckers anytime I want to, in case we're unclear about this, right? Like anytime I want to just move in with one of these fools, male or female, that's always on the table. I'm not Larry Benton, right? I'm not into that. I need my own space. I need my own time. I can't be dealing with some fucking moron who's dumb enough to move me in with them. So they can what? So they can do what? Whine and cry that I won't let them put me on their social media. I mean, what is this? And then not fuck them for 2 months until they finally figure out I'm really not going to fuck them. I'm not into that. No thanks. Not my cup of tea. Not my bag. I'm not into that. So he's walking to a car that's running in the parking. I think it is. I'm trying not to look. So in my mind, the human being has to at least land at the car, right? Like he's at least, there's going to be enough time that he's going to do whatever he's going to do with this vehicle. I'm going to walk past him unmolested into the door. Oh no. As soon as he gets to the car, he immediately turns into my path. He does a 180. So I see this in horror. I speed up and I'm like, excuse me, sir. But I don't say it like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, excuse me, sir. Like, I'm getting by you. And then he's like, some version of, now it's like getting weird because he's continuing to move towards the door. And I've already committed, meaning, I guess we're just going to physically collide with each other. And my elbow's I'm about to put my elbow up into this motherfucker's face. Like, not to hurt him, but like, my personal space is about to be invaded, right? By the galoot, the motherfucking lummox, right? That's okay. The men on my dad's side of the family, my dad could wrap his hand around this guy, like not now, but when my dad was at his full fucking physical peak, my dad could with one hand wrap this dude up by his collar and just move him around, like for real. And this is a bigger guy. Like this is just it's a Benton thing, right? Like I know I can handle this guy if I like just push him off of me or whatever, you know. And I'm basically like, once he sees I'm just going to hold my space, and he's going to have to stop because I'm already like I've beaten him to the door, and I'm like putting my things on the ground to open the door, and he's like, oh well, yeah, I was going to open the door for you. And now I'm looking like a freak because I'm like, yo, man, I don't need any help, bro. Like, what is this? So, and remember, I have a rapport with the staff. The guy behind, now I'm opening the door. The guy behind the counter's kind of looking because he's like, what the fuck is this? I've intentionally fostered a good reputation at this motel. Not that it matters, dirtbag fucking motel, right? And then I'm like, and furthermore, I'm just like, if I need your help, I'll ask for it. Like by then, I'm already walking off. It's like, yeah, I will ask for your motherfucking help if I need it, sir. Like, what is this? Meanwhile, here's what a human being would do. And I got some of this off my chest because I refused to repress. Some of this I got off my chest. Hang on, I got to slow down. Somebody's been in my mirrors for 10 minutes. This some bozo pickup towing a trailer's been in my mirror for 10 minutes. I don't know what he's doing, towing an RV, but getting a little tired of his bright lights. You're straining my eyes, sir. More mad. So when I got to the room, I gave a little bit of a diatribe, just because I'm not going to repress this stuff. It's like, yo, man, like, what is this? Like, what's wrong with these people? And so part of the diatribe was use your words, bro. Like, and he went to his room right after he was walking past me when I was opening my door. So he's, his room's right down the, and I just talked. Dude, I went in my room. He was free to listen to it. I called him a creepy fucking weirdo. I said, got dudes creeping on dudes, man. What is this? It's fucking weird. He's probably some version of a sex offender. I mean, honestly, that's sex offender behavior, like for real, right? And I didn't say that part, but I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I can go to Los Angeles and be more left alone walking around Echo Park, Los Angeles, than these weirdos in the South, man. It's fucking weird. And, it's bad when I'm the one calling it weird. I've been weird since day one. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro, for fuck's sake. I'm a professional weirdo. I'm not really a weirdo, though. I'm just weird. But it's fucking weirdos, dude. Creepy weirdos. They need to be put in their place on some level. Like, bro, this is... So here's what... If he was a normal, non-creepy... Here's what I would have done. Okay, if I was him, first I would have... As I was walking out the door... If I was going to hold the door for this guy, I would just stand there with the door open. See, this already proves that he wasn't trying to help me and he was trying to creep on me. If he really wanted to help me, he would have inconvenienced himself and stood there and waited the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Now I'm to the door and I'm like, hey, man, thanks, appreciate it. And now I'm through the door. He used the 1 through 5 Mississippi to use deception to hide what he knew he was going to do, turn his back to the situation, disengage, and then as soon as I was committed, right, to then double back into my path to have a what? To force a creepy spiritual attack of an encounter, which I sped the fuck up, claimed the space, and was basically like, I guess this motherfucker's, next step is elbow to his fucking, not to hurt him, but I guess it's just, now my arm's coming up, right? Like, yo, man, what is this? Like, huh? Meanwhile, I'm carrying shit. This is complete insanity. This is just normal. I go through versions of this every single day. Now, it's again, Los Angeles spiritually attacks me, certainly, but it's maybe it's just in ways that I find less offensive, right? I don't know, man. And I've seen some true crime cases come out of Fort Smith, dude. There's definitely some evil shit going on in Fort Smith. And of course there is in Los Angeles. I mean, it's Belly of the Beast, Hollywood, for fuck's sakes. And then somebody tried to tell me, oh, that's not Belly of the Beast. Motherfucker, you going to tell me Hollywood ain't Belly of the Beast? Are you crazy? But whatever. I mean, we don't need to get into semantics, but it's motherfucking Hollywood, Jack. I could walk to Hollywood from where I was sleeping in my car. Like, what are we talking about? Just walk there. Wouldn't even take that long. A couple of hours, I guess. I know what's up, Rachel. I know what's up, Rachel. What's up, Raz, man? I know what's up. It's just complete and say I'm done with it, and I was already done with it. But I realize the last however many years, especially since the fake pandemic, I've capitulated. There's a word for you if you want to go to your dictionaries. I've capitulated to going along to get along, and society. What happened after the during the pandemic? The creepy weirdos got to cover their face and be more overt with their creepiness, right? They were able to be more overt with their creepiness. And they sort of came out of hiding. And it's normalized creepiness. I'm done with it. So I capitulated to some of the craziness, some of the just, really, where you're just like, I guess this is really what we're doing here, Oh, they really going to let me make an appointment for a DOT physical, and I'm going to show up, and they're going to be like, yeah, you have to wear a mask. And I'm like, well, I've got $85 I'm trying to give you, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to wear a mask. So do you want the $85? And they're like, no, we're good. Okay, have a nice day. I mean, You can never get back this missed appointment. But all right. I mean, I thought business meant you take the $85 and just we look the other way on the mask, right? But no, no, we don't. And whatever. So I had allowed that to beat me down, and meanwhile, attacked at the level of my kidneys, I became fearful. Well, so now I've been delivered from that fear through what? True knowledge of self. True knowledge of self at the level of I know what I am. I am what I am is not capable of experiencing fear. Right. So, I'm done capitulating to this stuff, and I'm going to live some type of way. Whether I have to burn the boat, maybe I'm going to drive to LA and I might go. I was looking up long-term parking. Apparently, I can park this bitch for a whole month. If the internet's to be trusted, I can go park this bitch out at the airport out at LAX for like $270 for a month. Fuck it, I might just go park this bitch for a month. By then, it'll be time to head for the Pacific Northwest, summer in the Pac NW, right? Find somewhere to stash the car. I could probably go to the coast and meet some version of a meth head somewhere that'll let me leave my car on their property, and it'll either be there or it won't when I get back, right? You know, so I'm ready to be walking around on foot again and just being able to just talk however I want to talk. And if they don't like it, fuck them. I'm walking out of here anyway. You know, no tires to slash. No window to break at 2 in the morning, right? Well, I'm already up by 2 in the morning. No window to break at midnight. I've had all I can stands. I can't stands no more. Right. And I understand most people when they hear in the nature realm and the fact that using evil prove that the realm itself exists delusion. Like just based on the terminology, just starting with the meaning of the word delusion, I can pretty quickly get to making the case that this is by definition, this realm itself is a delusion. Right. To modify all of that. So probably going to be spending some time at the library. And I don't even know that I'm going to LA. I'm headed west on 40. I might go to San Francisco. I haven't really, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. If they'll let me park a car at LAX for $270, it can't be that. It'd be more expensive at SFO, but it can't be that much more expensive. And if I come back and the car's gone, it's gone. Like that's just what happened. If I come back to the car and they took my 270 and now they want more money, it's just like, oh well, I don't know. Like that's the level of dystopia we're in. I don't trust none of this stuff. In the old days, there wasn't no internet to pay by an app, but in the old days, if I got some kind of deal and it was $270 for a month of long-term parking and out at the airport, in some uncovered lot, 5 miles from the terminal or whatever, with no shuttle service. I mean, that's what we're talking about. No amenities. And, they either let you out of the gate or they don't. Well, in the old days, it was always a human. Now it's so now I'm having to trust the electronic machine when it scans. When I hold up my phone with the QR code, it's either going to let me out or it's not, right? I guess, I don't know. Is the Versa even stout enough to ram the motherfucking gates? I don't know. Lock the gates. I bet I can get out of there some kind of way. But I don't trust none of it. I halfway assume that they'll take my 270 and then not let me out of, after a month, not let me out of the gate. Right. That's where Hell Realm is now. That's just what this is. That's just normalized. Like when I was checking out of the motel, I was pretty sure I was going to get my $100 back because I know this motel. But what if I didn't know them? For all I know, they're going to be like, yeah, just invent a reason. So we're only going to give you $80 back. Like, what am I going to do? It's not even worth whatever amount of time and effort I would have to put into like fighting for my. It's just all right. Well, I'm out of here. See you later. You know, that's where we're at in society, and not we, but that's what we all live in individually. Versions of that. I can't do anything about it. Well, that's not true. Inside of myself, I have every tool. I have all access to my own nature, which my own nature as a quickening spirit is able to use evasive action to just move beyond all of this in any moment. I mean, that ultimately, that's the secret, is that I'm always able to quicken my spirit and just they can't pin me down. It's like, oh, really? Well, you're not going to let me out of the gate? Well, I guess now you have a 2007 Nissan Versa blocking the gate because I'm just leaving, right? I'm just leaving it there. Fuck me. Well, fuck you, and not you, the listener. But I mean, I'm really to that point. It's like, fuck it. Oh, you're going to threaten me with a good time and I'm just going to walk around? Hell, I was wanting to do that anyway. Okay. Like, yeah, I was going to drive to Portland or Eugene or whatever. I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to get there without the car. In fact, I've done it before. So it won't be the first time I've gotten my happy ass to Eugene or wherever without a car. Hell, I'll probably be walking through Humboldt or Southern Oregon and somebody will give me like half a pound of weed or something. Not that I'm not smoking. I don't know if I'm going to smoke or not. I haven't decided. Maybe one last hoorah. I've been thinking about maybe buying one of those alternate cannabinoid vapes, right? I almost bought one, and I thought about it when I was in Texas, but they got pretty good deals on that stuff in Texas for whatever reason. But I don't know. I'll probably skip it. We'll see. I definitely don't need it. I like to get fucked up, but more and more I'm thinking maybe that part of my life's over. And whatever this place is, it has to test us. If I am a spirit and I know myself to be a spirit, again, probably part of the Gospel of Paul, but there is some wisdom in there, and it may not be. It may be from the actual Gospels, but the idea of test the spirits, I'm tested. Like this car comes up behind me. Well, first they're going to see, well, maybe if they tailgate me, I'll speed up. So I let them know by slowing down, and then as soon as I start slowing down, they pull out to pass. They got to test to find out, right? Like, I don't really operate that way. But see, to me, that's somebody who's here on behalf of the realm itself. So also when I talk about proper identification, then we get into representation. A lot of these individuals, whether they're at the super center or the motel or wherever I happen to find myself, a lot of these, even if they are what I am, right, on some level, Nancy Pelosi's, MS-13 spark of divinity, right, which is a pejorative way of referring to, if in fact all humans are imbued with that same essence, or soul, if that's a thing, right? Then some of them are operating, a lot of them, most of them are operating on behalf, like as representatives of the hell realm itself. It's like constant probing for weakness, constant spiritual attack. We got to see how he'll handle this. We got to see how he'll handle that. And I mean, again, not a targeted individual, because I don't think that's a thing, but it's functionally the same motherfucking thing. It's like, yeah, I skipped the part where it's like, oh, I'm so special that the realm's got to attack me individually. Like, I sidestep all of that, but I'm treated the same fucking way. So what's the difference? Everywhere I go, what's the difference? Are we getting donations? Thank you for the donations. I do have money, but thank you. We'll put that towards another month of StreamYard. If anybody feels like donating, it will go to $45 for a month of StreamYard. Ridiculous. But yeah, that's what it would go for. So I can continue to run my Yap on here and not exceed my data plan. Shout out to US Mobile. What's up, Denise? Good to see you. Yeah, that's right, the royal we. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. I need to be more specific with the pronouns, especially the collective pronoun. Yeah, the royal we. You're right. And I understand most of the people that are ever going to hear me talking about the nature of the realm are going to just double down on their own delusions. That's fine. We're planting seeds out here. And again, I've talked about it before. That's God's business. That's once the words escape my lips, it's no longer my business as an individuated, delusionalized, individual in this heaven or hell realm manifesting as a hell realm. Like my job is just to let the spirit flow through me. Once it leaves me, that's not my business anymore. So if I'm posted up, near the USC or the UCLA campus or whatever, dropping knowledge and speaking truth every day, which that appeals to me on some level. I'm trained for that. I have some abilities there, right? My channel is not capable of blowing up, but you never know. And I'm pretty sure YouTube already has my vocal print, so I don't know that any content using my actual voice would have a chance of blowing up. But who knows what's possible? Does it even matter? But I'm more into the tangible side of things. That appeals to me way more, the tangible side than the, yeah, I understand I've been on the internet effectively every single day going back to 1994. That's great. But, I don't have to do everything on the internet necessarily. Or do both IRL and, streaming, whatever, or, in real life and streaming. The possibilities are nearly unlimited. And when I say unlimited, what I am is a being that can never experience limitation except via delusion, which is what this realm is. That's how the realm exists, is delusion, And now what do we have in this delusional realm of limitation? We have cell phone carriers like T-Mobile that have something like 7 different unlimited plans. Imagine that. Oh, I'm going to get unlimited service. Okay, well, which of our 7 unlimited plans? Well, what do you mean? How could there be 7 different unlimited plans? Well, I don't know, but there are. And I'm, being a little hyperbolic. There's at least 4. I mean, maybe more than that. It might actually be 7. It's several different, as they try to figure out the marketing, That's why I'm happy to give US Mobile $390. Just tell me I'm getting 100 gig of premium data. Tell me on Verizon. Tell me I'm getting 50 gig of hotspot. And I'm pretty sure my phone does tethering anyway. It seems to. And I've never come anywhere near the 50 gig in spite of all this streaming on a second device. I think they consider most of it tethering. And then here's $390 for a year. All in. Let's do it. Leave me the fuck alone. And the fact that they call it unlimited, who cares? I know I have 100 gigs, and I know if I hit the 100 gigs, the shit's going to slow down to basically nothing. Great. That's fine. Who cares? Yeah, unlimited times 2. Infinity and beyond. That's right, Rasner. Infinity and beyond. I am infinity, motherfuckers. And not you. I don't mean to insult the listener. The royal motherfuckers. Shouldn't even say royal. But yeah, the whatever I mean. Y'all know what I mean. What I am can never experience being finite, again, except through its own creative force, when that creative force is subverted into creating a realm of delusion, which is what this place is. So I don't know, man. I think we're doing pretty good. We, right, the listeners of this broadcast, which does not represent a we, but myself and the people who would listen to this, overall, I think that those folks are doing fairly well, uh, simply based on being able to entertain the notion of the potential for this realm existing as delusion, right? That's a game changer. You know, what more helpful way to get through the day than to realize that, yeah, this is a delusion on some level, right? It's baked into the cake. The mind control is baked into the cake of the delusion itself. If you want to know, oh, where does all this mind control come from? It did not come from a bunch of scheming human beings necessarily. I would assert that the mind control is baked into the delusion itself via antithesis. Whatever antithesis of the proposition, and the proposition is the I am, right? I am, that is proposition or thesis. Antithesis, that's where evil comes in. So the idea of, oh, how could a loving God create evil? Well, but that's because the I am, and that's not a human deity, with male gender and male genitalia and a human consciousness. Does that even make sense? No, we're talking about the highest levels of love and creation possible at the highest levels of vibrational frequency, a quickening spirit, meaning it can always accelerate when it needs to, right? How could that ever be a human? That doesn't even make sense. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. That force is incapable of conceptualizing evil. It doesn't have a concept of evil. That's what antithesis is. Antithesis is the embodiment, and embodiment's not even the proper term. Embodiment is, or antithesis encapsulates or encompasses the antithesis of the proposition of the I am. It has to, because otherwise it would be possible for nothing to exist. I'm here to claim, my claim that I can't necessarily prove, I'm claiming that there has to be something. There can never just be void and nothing, right? And I believe that's because what I am is unable to conceptualize antithesis. It also can't conceptualize a void or a nothing, right? Meanwhile, the void, if I stare into the void, the void stares into me, right? Again, kind of the same thing. So if I'm willing to, the moment I'm willing to accept, well, there has to always be something. What is something? Thesis, proposition, creation, right? The highest levels of vibrational frequency possible, which wouldn't that also contain the potential expression of the lowest levels of vibrational frequency? Meaning, wouldn't the potential be contained within the quickly vibrating on an oscilloscope? And what if the oscilloscope and the being viewing the oscilloscope are both limited in a delusion, meaning at the highest levels of frequency, it's vibrating so fast it probably just looks like a solid line. Same thing with the low levels of energy, except maybe that's just an entire screen. Maybe the whole screen is just solid, right? Is that the only differentiator of the highest levels and the lowest levels of vibrational frequency? That they both appear not to be moving from our perspective. Right? Again, I'm speculating here. I don't know this. I'm speculating, right? So that's what we're dealing with. Thesis must exist. There must be a proposition, because if there's no proposition or I am, that means nothing could exist. That means it's possible for nothing to exist. How can I even talk about the existence of nothing without talking about the potential existence of something? It already sort of proves itself out, does it not? Right? Again, I'm so super high functioning retarded person that I must only approach all of this from the most basic knuckle dragging drooler level. I have to start at the basic fundamental levels where it's like I'm so fucking dumb, and I'm not dumb, but my approach is so low level in a way that you can't really tell the difference. It actually sounds really fucking high level once I start to explain it, doesn't it? It kind of does. It's quite subtle. sublime, dare I say, right? Dare I say sublime, right? And if I am what I know myself to be, quickening spirit, I can get to wherever I need to go to from all points. I can actually start from the most basic fundamental level and still get there, right? I can start from the lower level and still get there. That's right. Now we get into how do people in this realm of delusion, this is how people, seems to be how they begin to identify with delusion itself, because it is possible for the I am to quicken its spirit and move through delusion by quickening of spirit. Of course. Of course. But that never really holds water in the long run, does it? It's like, yeah, when I was young and I could go serve corporations and businesses and earn a certain amount of money and enjoy my life, seemingly, although I wasn't enjoying it, but, you know, buy the things I wanted to buy, have the life that I thought I wanted to have the life that I thought I wanted to have. Meanwhile, it never fulfilled me. At a certain point, I recognize, oh, I will never achieve true fulfillment the way I was living. That's part of the reason I left for the West Coast and went to California for the first time when I was in my mid 30s. All right, 15 years ago now, and began a lot of these spiritual practices. In fact, a lot of them had already begun. Some of them had already begun, such as the never bullshit yourself. In order to the very early stages of maintaining my own sanity, some of those early stages was to never bullshit myself. You know, I recognize, I recognize I was lying to myself in my own head quite a bit. It's like, yeah, okay, buddy, how is Benton to take ownership of his mental health and still continue to tell himself lies in a realm of lies? You know, in a realm of lies that tells you it's a realm of lies. Look at the political system. The political system presents itself to you as as lies. Hey, we're the political system. And both parties lie to you. It just tells you that on day one. It's like, what? And that's just, again, baked into the cake. Common sense, word of mouth, conventional wisdom. Oh, yeah, well, of course the president lies, right? Of course of course the president tells you lies, right? Of course it does. So what is the political system? The political system is antithesis, rather. It's thesis performing based on antithesis. The political system is Moloch's machine, is antithesis by def. That's what it is. So in order for a person, an individual, Nancy Pelosi's MS-13 spark of divinity, in order for one of those in a delusion to identify with the political system is to identify with what? Antithesis or antichrist. Thus assuring, what does the Bible say? No one comes unto the Father, meaning their own nature of the I am, that one, the indivisible force. Nobody comes to that within a delusion, having previously, perhaps in each, last moment, right? Moment to moment to moment, identified with delusion within a delusion and identified with antithesis. Nobody goes from that state, right, to true knowledge of self, the I am, in the moment, except what? Through Christ consciousness, Holy Spirit, being emptied of oneself, and then now their own essence enters in, or now we get into the worship, the consecration, the continuous overflowing of the Spirit. Some of these things talked about in the writings of Paul in the Bible. Meanwhile, yeah, there probably never was a Paul. Yeah, I get that. I understand. It's all a delusion anyway. So what I'm preaching on here actually makes the case that there is no Paul. There was no Paul. However, it also makes the case that right now there is no Benton. Are you ready for that one? Now it starts to talk about, now it starts to sound like some of that stuff Charles Manson was on about. Interesting. If you actually listen to some of his, what he was on about, he was more or less like, yeah, well, I'm not even real, but basically, he, in his own way, he's like, yeah, there's not even a Charlie Man, although he said it differently. That's what he meant. Like, yeah, he's like, this ain't even really here, slapping his own flesh or whatever. Or maybe that was Natural Born Killers. What's the fucking difference? What's the difference? It's already 6 o'clock. Damn. This is the reason to start out the day early. This is a reason to start early. Get down the road. Yeah, but I was looking at where am I going to end up? General vicinity of Albuquerque, and apparently crime's off the chain there. And I'm not going to risk, my vehicle unnecessarily. So we'll probably pull up east of Albuquerque somewhere. Although you never know, I can do it on naps, right? I can do it on naps if I need to. I'll have to sleep. Early bird gets the worm. In a way, Rachel, it's like, yeah, it's, go and do my business in town, right? Move out of the motel. Fucking, I hit the ATM. I want a certain amount of cash just in case something happens. Hit the ATM. Picked up some Amazon locker packages. Put fuel in the car. Took my sweet ass time. Hit the road. Do a live stream. By the time the sun comes up, shit. I like Amarillo. I found there's some decent cheap motels in Amarillo, but it's going to be too early in the day. Even though that they'll probably let me do an early check-in. It's like, yeah, I just hung around a motel room for 4 days. Kind of over it. And it's like remembering the depression of the last times I stayed in that motel. It was like by the month, at this point, I'm not sure I'm probably not even able to subject myself to the $700 a month portion of because it's separate buildings. And then it's like, yeah, I guess I could afford this. I could do another week, $250 a week or whatever it is. But what's the point if I'm just going to leave anyway? And in that week, I probably would have, went down to Little Rock one day and maybe cruised through Hot Springs just to look at it. Because I do like Hot Springs, but fuck it. And I'm about done with Arkansas. I don't mean like forever, but again, the West is the best. Like I'm pretty much just, and I'm not saying I'm never going back, but it's like spiritually, physically, I have to be somewhere in this delusion. To me, the West Coast makes a lot more sense. And I know people talk a lot of shit on Cali, and basically everything people say about California, almost all of it also applies to Oregon and Washington. So really, it's the entire West Coast when people talk shit on Cali. But, there's big time problems in that middle part of the country. Also, big time problems that people are delusional and in denial about the problems. It's easy for them to just say, oh, look at California, look at these liberals, look at the lefties, and it's like, yeah, but look at you also, and not you, the listener, but also look at the middle America people. It's like, do y'all really think you're any better morally than, not you, do the middle America people really think they're any better morally than the West Coasters? Absolutely not. Meanwhile, look at Benton. I'm not saying I'm 100% morally pure. I'm saying compared to the average bozo, I'm light years ahead. I might as well be spiritually pure. morally pure compared to the average bozo. Just pluck one random bozo out of anywhere in America, and I'll put my where I'm at morally, spiritually, and physically up against them. Absolutely, I will. Those are objective measures, right? Oh yeah, Rachel's son is in L.A. Yeah, I remember you mentioning him. From my memory, he seemed to have some version of a high income. All right, we're taking the exit here. Wait a minute, Henrietta. Is this the turnpike? No, it's not the turnpike. Good. I think maybe there's a pilot though. I probably should have, or the Flying J next exit. Yeah, this is a mistake here. Yeah, we're going onto like a side highway where you can't just get right back on the interstate. Uh, from truck driving, I do know some of, I don't have everything memorized like some of these truckers. That was another thing, man. Working with this safety manager, he wants to talk to all the truckers like we've all got all the exits memorized. So he's like, yeah, there's a Love's at exit 91 or whatever. I'm like, bro, my brain doesn't work that way. Like I don't think that way. And furthermore, like I'm kind of annoyed that other people's brains do work that way. It's like, yeah, it's like this is not really a thing here, Bubba. It's a QT. I guess it'll do. It'll do. That's the truck entrance, though. We're not going in there. Oh, it's a green light. Now, is there an entrance here? Sort of. Kind of, sort of. Not really. These QTs will, in a car, they'll sneak up on you. You'll think there's an entrance on a particular side, and it's like, nope, just a curb, but not this one, fortunately. I don't have any Flying J points anyway. I've got some Loves points, but that's a whole nother story. I got to call the damn customer service. In an information age, I got to call and talk to a human slash AI. Oh, I don't think EBT's still here, but I'll have to tell him next time I see him if I remember. But yeah, hang on. We'll be right back. Going on a quick break. Won't be long. I got a head of steam. We built up a head of steam here, so BRB. Actually, I got to take you with me, but I'm muting you. All right, we're back. We are back. Also, hang on. Fucking phone's upside down. Uh-oh. There we go. Feels nice out here, man. There's no humidity right now. God, it was humid yesterday. It was brutal. It rained. I went downtown and walked around. It rained. Talked to some bums, fucking drunk meth head bums. Bought them some pizza. Actually, went to Little Caesars, and the gal working there was having such a bad time. She said somebody was giving her the business. She was keeping her calm, and she's like, finally, I patiently waited, and finally she's like, okay, how may I help you, whatever. And I'm like, I was gonna buy some pizzas for some fucking bums, some drunk, and I didn't say fucking, but I was gonna buy pizzas for some drunk bums. I said, you know what? I'd rather just give you the money. And I had a $20 bill, and she's like, oh, as people are, they're like, oh no. I was like, yeah, take it. I said, they're drunk. Who cares? And so she's like, okay, she took it, but then she's like, I'll just give you the pizzas anyway. I was like, all right, all the better. Shit, that works too. Bring, give a bum a pizza. Give a drunk bum a pizza, right? Whatever. So I can figure out how to get back on the interstate here. All right. I guess we don't need the defrost. It was so humid when I left Fort Smith, I kept having to turn the defrost on. Good law. Good law. Wow. I don't know, man. Are y'all going straight? Because I'm sitting here with the turn signal on. I wish y'all would get on with it. Actually, their car, I don't probably as fast as it could go. Sound like it's about to blow up. Headed to Oklahoma City. I guess we'll be getting there right about rush hour, but they don't have too much of a rush hour. Last exit before toll. Yeah, we don't want the toll road. Let's get up to cruising speed here. Sip my coffee. Dystopian brand coffee roasters. How about that? I'm not starting it. I'd drink it though. Maybe I should trademark all of this for branding. Hell Realm, Dystopian Nightmare, Nightmare Dystopia. Why not? Oh yeah, that's all business. Coffee's okay. QT though, man, they got it figured out. I don't go in there very often, but one thing, man, that I can't fucking stand. I go into a store at 2 in the morning, some truck stop or gas station, and they love the bitch behind the counter loves to fucking, oh, I'm down here. It's like, okay, I'm over here. Like, all right, what do I need? What do I need to do to pay for this and get the fuck out of here? The QT is like, oh, either side, whatever. Just wander up to the counter and we'll take your money. Yeah, it's all right. I'm the customer, damn it. Why do I got to try to guess where to go to? You know, just to get told I'm doing the wrong shit. I'm down here. Okay, great. I'm over here. What now? What? Ah, fuck. See, this is me being an idiot with the coffee, spilling it all over myself. I almost put my nice clothes on. That's why I didn't put my nice clothes on. Fuck. Oh, we spilled it on the fanny pack too. Motherfucker. This is one of the things I don't like about coffee. You can't just go get a cup of coffee and fucking start drinking it. It's got to be cooled or whatever. Now, some people want it as hot as humanly possible, but it's my fault though. I should have clicked leave room for cream. It's my fault for letting the cup get filled too far. Ultimately, I fucking knew better, and still fucked up. What a goober! What a goober! Oh well, self-inflicted. Can't be mad at nobody but myself. Shit happens, as they say, and it's not like we dress homeless for a reason. It's like, yeah, we get dirty, we spill shit. Black pants, black shirt. The fanny pack's going to take a beating no matter what. But yeah, it has been recently washed. Oh yeah, we spilled coffee on it, but it's not too bad. Who cares? I bought a new fanny pack too to replace this one, just in case. I didn't know if it was going to come out of the wash and retain its shape or not. And then it says right there on the label, "Do not machine wash." It's like I ran it through the wash, no fucking problem. I guess they just want to sell more fanny packs. Can you blame them? It's corporate hellscape. What's all this? Walmart won't shut the fuck up. Every time I look at an article, it's like something about Walmart talking about how prices are about to go up. But also they still made their profits target or whatever it was. But they said they just barely missed their sales goal. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Like, what's this all about? What's the point of it? What's the point of telling people that? It's that they seem to almost be saying like, hey, go stock up now. So that would be a version. These dumbos are going to buy things they wouldn't normally buy just to have them in case. So, is that some version of economic stimulus? Tell the bozos the prices are about to go up. I'm pretty sure the prices already went up. I don't think they're going up much from here in the short term. I think that shit already happened. Now, I could be very, very wrong, right? Famous last words, but I don't think so, man. I think the prices have already gone up. Now, of course, they're going to go up more just over time. That's what happens. Yeah, coffee makes dystopia enjoyable. The thing for me is my mood is better when I don't drink coffee. So I was off of coffee for several months, and I only started drinking it again because of truck driving. And then now I was gonna, if I was in the motel, this was gonna be my first day with no coffee. But since I'm on a road trip, I'm able to justify it. So not that I need to justify it, but that's how I'm justifying it to myself. It definitely goes good with driving. That's right, Grills. Grills caught him a live stream. I tell you who's been killing it lately is King Steven. I understand there's certain things about his personality. Look, there's certain things about his personality I don't find that great, but dude is fucking hilarious. Number one, he had me rolling yesterday, and he makes a lot of good points. So glad to see him doing well. He started a new channel also, El Diablo Radio International. Yeah, we were cooking. Had 16 in the house. I took a break and slowly dwindling down to 12, but that's okay. It's all right. It'll take me a minute or two to get back in the flow. The swing of things. If I'm going to have this ridiculous accent, I might as well use it. Get back in the swing of things. Put the lid back on the coffee. Where is the lid? Oh, it's on the seat, perhaps. Aha, yes. All right, now it's back to 75. 80 miles to OKC, baby. What a fucking shithole. You talk all the shit about LA you want. Yeah, LA's garbage strewn and graffiti laden. Sure, but it ain't no shithole like OKC is. OKC's a fucking shithole. I dropped the trailer at the truck stop a few years back, bobtailed to a super center, and as soon as I pulled into the lot, it was so ghetto. I almost just said, "Fuck it! What am I going to do? Go to another?" I almost left. Then I was like, "What am I going to do? Drive to another super center? It's probably just as bad as this one." I mean, maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I saw a horrific child neglect case on body cam out of OKC. It was a fucking nightmare. I said, "Good Lord." I mean, and you could talk all the shit about you want about LA. I'm pretty sure that are versions of that happening. And yeah, of course, but I'm almost certain that the local authorities it's set up better to intervene, right? And then look at a lot of the so-called truth community. Look at a lot of the conservative types. They don't want any government intervention into the family. And I'm like, well, yo, man, that's just turning over. A lot of these babies are just turned over to direct torture to not intervene, right? Some of what I saw on body cam, and again, yeah, it could be fake, but it's probably real. It's like, yo, we need CPS. Unfortunately, I wish CPS wasn't a necessity. CPS is a necessity, right? You could talk about how CPS doesn't do his job and this. Yeah, that's fine. Just imagine not having it. Good Lord. And I'm almost certain that whatever LA County's doing, I bet you it's way better than whatever's going on in Oklahoma, based on what I'm seeing, or way less bad. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I'm gonna call it like I see it. It was so bad. These parents, they didn't even realize they were doing anything wrong. You couldn't see it, and I just listened to a lot of this stuff anyway. Apparently, there was two boys, like I don't know, 4 and 6 or whatever, 5 and 7. Apparently, they were just more or less locked in a room, left to their own devices, and just feces smeared on the walls, right? And then the parents' thing is like, yeah, that's just more or less what they do. I don't know, man. It's probably what all kids do if you don't raise them and you just lock them in a room. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know. But Moloch is certainly well pleased, right? Now, yeah, I don't know. Maybe some version of that's happening somewhere in Los Angeles. I'd like to think not, but probably. But I don't know. Seems to me like Oklahoma City fosters an environment that's a little more conducive based on what I'm seeing. Goodness gracious. What a disaster. This idea that it's just, oh, it's, and remember, politically, again, when I talk about the political system, it is antithesis. That's just nature. It's evil by nature, right? Of course, it's a backwards or inverted motivation. It's never, oh, well, look at the great job that one of the two political parties is doing. It's always based on the rebuking or the idea that, well, the one party, the Democrats, are so ridiculous and depraved and all of this that the motivation is okay now to identify with Make America Great Again and Republicanism, not based on anything other than, well, that's the rhetoric that sounds good to us, and then look at how ridiculous the blue team is. Except I'm like, yeah, exactly. The blue team is absolutely ridiculous. So is the red team. Meanwhile, red team in charge again. Meanwhile, yet again, America, not that it matters, but yet again, America is at a low point based on how the rest of the world views America. Just like what happened when George W. Bush was president. Same fucking thing. Now, I'm not even saying it matters how the rest of the world views America, but because again, it's hot garbage, delusion, nonsense. But again, I'm analyzing the official fiction layers, right? I'm taking what is being propagated and just sort of in a thought experiment, making some points and extrapolations, abstractly. It's like, can't people understand that? Yeah, okay. I also have a hope station, yeah, at times some of that Make America Great Again stuff, lesser evolved versions of Benton certainly could have, some of that could have resonated with Benton. But my thing is, hey, if people from Arkansas criticize Democrats, they're never going to listen. If people from the middle part of the country criticize Republicans, yeah, they're still going to do the bidding of banks and corporations, but they might actually listen. Like, so, and I don't think it's going to matter, but to be critical of a political party, it's not going to do any good to be critical of the other. It's only ever going to it's only maybe going to do good to be critical of the political party that seems like a good idea, which neither one of them seem like a good idea. This is crazy. I can't even watch Chalk Body Outline anymore because every time I click on a stream, it's just him talking about the lefties or the liberals. It's like, yeah, bro, that's fine. But why not devote just as much energy and time to making fun of Republicans? They're just as laughable. They're just as decadent. They're just as depraved. They're just as silly. They're just as ridiculous, only in different ways, right? Meanwhile, Alex Jones himself, when he was building an audience, he was making fun of not Democrats. He was making fun of Democrats. He spent even more time and energy making fun of Republicans and talking shit about Dick Cheney and George W. Bush and George Herbert Walker Bush, right? Even Reagan to some extent. That's where the meat on the bone is. It's not to preach to a bunch of people who already don't like the blue team. Like, you want to talk about an echo chamber? How about criticize the home team, right? And I grew up on college football. We didn't criticize the other sport teams. That's pointless. We criticized the home team because maybe that might do some good in the long run. Maybe a coach will get fired. Maybe the backup quarterback is better, right? Well, at times he was damn near as good, so maybe give him a shot, perhaps. It's a backwards motivation. It's an inverted motivation, right? It's obvious to me. Yeah, we all know what the Democrats are. It's not going to do anybody any good to focus on that. There's nothing to be gained by focusing on the ridiculousness of the Democrats. None. And it's so much so, like, Bill Maher is a huge example of all of this. It's like, yo, there's nothing wrong with actual liberals. It's like, I understand we can make fun of how he chooses to sit and his tone of voice, and he's smarmy. That's fine. He's still a good goddamn American. I hate to break it to you. Yeah. Based on what MAGA tries to say, oh, job creator, uh, you know, believes in American values, believes in the Constitution. Yeah, Bill motherfucking Maher believes in. He doesn't believe in Republicans and Trump. He believes in some ideas around let's make America great again. Yeah, he identifies with some of that. Absolutely, he does. Whatever that ethos is, he espouses it out of his own mouth. And so I see people even making fun of him as people don't even realize that Bill Maher's a bad motherfucker. Why? Because Bill Maher came up in the 80s when the people had to be badasses. It's not the social media age when Kim Kardashian and all of these people can become famous for with no talent. Bill Maher had to go bust his ass on the road in the 80s and rose through the ranks of stand-up comedy, and therefore he was top of his field. So you want to talk about a make America great again? Bill Maher lived it by busting his ass and climbing and clawing his way to literal top of his field. How do you think he got his HBO show? Right? He wasn't ordained. He wasn't blessed in. Now we know he has to be some version of serving Moloch's machine. Yeah, they all do to get his fame, to get to that level of fame and riches, of course. My point is, he actually had to go do the damn thing back in the day. So MAGA doesn't even live up to what it claims to uphold. MAGA claims to be all about hard work, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and outcompete the other guy, right? Well, guess what? That's Bill Maher done that. Oh, but you'll honor it when it's Bubba and it looks like you and it struts around like you and talks like you. You won't honor it when it's some guy from New York that traveled all around the country. Bill Maher will tell you he didn't want to go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He didn't want to go to Oklahoma. He didn't want to go all of these places. He had to. He didn't want to go to Indianapolis with those fucking those racist, backwards rednecks in Indy. From his perspective, Bill Maher would tell you, if he was being honest, he's better than that. He did it because that's what he had to do back in the day. Because he had to prove it through his own hard work, his own intelligence. That's what America's supposed to be, folks. Bill Maher is as American as it gets. I hate to break it to you. Like it or not. But see, I don't concern myself with his tone of voice. I don't concern myself with his smarmy way that he comes across. I don't concern myself with how he crosses his leg. Right. I say, oh, well, he's one of the baddest ass motherfuckers of all time in comedy in the 1980s. That's all I need to know. What else is there to know? That's a person who pulled himself up. There was no version of, oh, well, the system has promoted him to the top. That did not exist back then. He had to be able to go onto a stage and control a fucking room, right? He had to go up there and do the damn thing. He had to be able to do that. And I spent my own money to see Michael Ian Black in Spokane, Washington. That's a talent. I had a back and forth with Michael Ian Black. I got to him a little bit, and I saw his professionalism kick in, and when he was done with the interaction, he just immediately went into his skill set of being able to just take the room back, right? That's just to be able to go up there and control a room, right? Do you think Kim Kardashian can do that? Do you think any of these people nowadays can do that? They can't show up in public and be the real article, right? Bill Maher can. Bill Maher sits down with Tony Hinchcliffe, who's one of this modern wave of comedians who got famous for doing nothing and having no talent. And Bill Maher just chews him up and spits him out. Bill Maher came up when he had to be able. If you sat down with Bill Maher, he would chew you up and spit you out, right? Absolutely, because he's got a skill set, and he'll hear you out. He'll shut the fuck up long enough to hear you out, and he'll just take everything you just said and turn it around and give it right back to you, and you'll be like, "Damn, how did this happen? This guy's kicking my ass with his ideas, with his mind." That's Bill Maher. He's a bad motherfucker. What's it have to do with politics? Is dead. Politics is Moloch's machine. Politics is antithesis. Do I really need him to align politically with what? With the right flavor of death? Because Bill Maher, when he spat out of the mouth because of his lukewarmness, he don't have the right kind of flavor to his discourse. Are you crazy? In a delusion, in the hell realm, and the political system itself is antithesis and is Moloch and is death. I need Bill Maher to, hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my ragtime gal. If he don't do that the proper kind of way, he's debunked. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then, like with Corolla, they try to say he's a conservative. No, he's not. It's a progressive movement. Corolla himself said he's like no, I'm from L.A. For fuck's sakes. He said I haven't changed. Yeah, Corolla's a conservative, except he'll eat. Back in the day, he would eat mushrooms, and he'll still to this day smoke pot or eat an edible. But yeah, okay, now a conservative can smoke a joint. Well, in 1988, when Corolla was smoking joints and would eat an edible or eat some mushrooms, yeah, you could not be a Republican and admit to doing any of that. Corolla hadn't changed. It's a progressive movement. Politics changes and moves over time. He's the same. Now, he's gotten, probably being a family man and all of this, he's probably a little more locked in on certain ideas. But again, nothing wrong with actual liberals, meaning Bill Maher. And the whole way through the trans stuff, Bill Maher's been a little skeptical, saying, like, really, we're going to let guys, go out here and manhandle women in sports? Like, he's been saying that since day one. He's been talking about the jab since day one. He's like, yeah, I got the first one, I got the second one. And at a certain point, he's like, yo, is this just going to be the rest of my life getting jabbed here? He's basically like, I'm done with it. And once Bill Maher's done with it, he's like, fuck you. I don't care what you think. Fuck you. I'm done. I did what I felt was the right thing, and then I'm done with it. When does it ever end? Leave me alone. Like an American's supposed to say, leave me the fuck alone. The guy used to own a part of a professional baseball team. What's more American than Major League Baseball? I mean, come on. Businessman. Teeth are starting to hurt. I forgot to wash my mouth out. Need to rinse the old mouth out. Sun's threatening to come out here. It's leftists, commies. Guess what? The authoritarians on the right aren't any better. It's two different flavors of authoritarian. Shout out to Mark Passio, who's certainly a bozo, but he's years ago was talking about, it's like, look, these conservatives, it's like they're authoritarians. They just want to take over the political system to also tell you how to live. It's not any different. He's right. It's not any different. It's just at the end of the day, yeah, I'm being told how to live. You know, insane, insane. Yeah, yeah. Bill Maher, I think, took 2 jabs. I think he took. I think he was basically like, "Hey, man, like at a certain point, I did 2 of them. How many more do I have?" And then, yeah, when the evidence started coming out that it's not that effective, he started saying like, "Hey, it doesn't even help anyway." And I think he's probably said some version if he had it to do over again, he wouldn't have bothered. But he likes to reiterate that when he took it, he said that he felt like it was the right thing to do. Meanwhile, most of the conservatives have said all along, it's kind of an individual choice anyway, right? That's how I looked at it. It was like, yeah, I'm never going to take it. By the way, BDB, word is Bon Jovi. I got a train ran on my ass by COVID. I had the motherfucking long COVID. COVID fucked me up, y'all, for like a year and a half. I got the Delta. They hit me with the motherfucking Delta form of the bioweapon. My whole family, it almost killed my mama, lest we forget. Now, I don't in any way believe it would have been less bad if I'd gotten jabbed, but the fact is, the first 2 weeks in, when I got sent to King County, Washington, and we really didn't know what it was yet, and you know, and I knew I would never take the jab, and there was no jab available yet anyway. But it's like, yo, man, in some way, I still wasn't going to take it, even if it was proven effective, which I knew would never happen. But I still wouldn't have taken it. I don't think people realize that. You got a hardcore group of people. They'll see, oh yeah, okay, we see that maybe it has some effectiveness. I'll just let my body fight it off. I'll just be sick for a year and a half. I don't give a fuck. I'll just I'll take everything it can throw at me and just that's fine. Who cares? Do your worst. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm healthy enough. It wasn't going to be able to kill me. They say what don't kill me makes me stronger. Okay, here we go. My thing was like, yeah, here I am going to the first hot spot in the country, driving a truck. Okay, well, I mean, fucking do your worst, I guess. I don't know. I'll just trust my body, right? I'll just trust my body's ability to fight off whatever this is, right? How about that? And I'm pretty sure I had that alpha, and I think I felt sick for like half a day, and I just like slept a little more than normal and felt fine. It's like, yeah, whatever. But that Delta, man, woo, that was a motherfucker, Jack. I have a very high tolerance for pain my whole life. I had lower body aches that were 8 to 9 out of 10 on a pain scale. Like no bullshit, just brutal. Like just like all day, just like moaning, like just all day long, like all fucking day, man. Because I knew I had to ride it out. So it's like, fuck it, dude. This is the only way I can just gotta. Because at first I was taking ibuprofen to keep the fucking. I started a job that sick. I started a new job that sick and broke my fucking foot. And I didn't break the foot because I was sick. I broke the foot. That was a whole other thing. But there's a lesson in there somewhere. But I won't even try to analyze that right now. But and ibuprofen, as I know, is bad for the liver and all of this. But I was taking maximum doses of ibuprofen just to get through the day. And I finally figured out, it's like, fuck it, I'm just going to have to ride this bitch out. It's brutal, man. And just coughing, like sitting up just coughing all day, like as hard as I could cough. Because I know how my lungs work. I said, I got to cough this shit out, man. What if I was in a state of poor health? I wouldn't have the lung power. A lot of these people didn't have the lung capacity. What percentage of the general public can't just take a breath and cough like a motherfucker right now? So where they're lightheaded. That's a lot of motherfuckers. You know, I got lung capacity. You know, in spite of my chronic illnesses, I am relatively healthy over time. You know, generally. I mean, what is this? And that's another thing. Just how physically unhealthy, especially the middle part of the country, is. My home state, Arkansas, second only to West Virginia, apparently, because of what? Obesity. Yeah, great. Obesity. This is the best and brightest. This is the cream of the crop in the country. You know, oh, middle America. This is who Trump loves and lauds and thinks is awesome. This is who's going to make America great again. This is and also imagine it's 2025 and actually thinking factory jobs are desirable. Are you kidding me? I've worked in a factory. Anybody else worked in a factory? That shit sucks. What are you talking about? This is what we're sending the generation after generation after generation of kids off to college to go work in a factory. Yeah, I understand the retail hellscape's bad enough. I've done both. I think I'm probably, I don't know. It's a toss up actually. Now that I think about it. And I'm happy to work a job if it works for me. If it doesn't work for me, why would I do it? And people, oh, Gen Z doesn't want to work. They're lazy. No, they're not. They're smarter than the boomers because they say, why would I do something that doesn't work for me? Meaning, why would I work full time and then my wages is 100% of my rent? Meaning, I can just live with mommy and daddy and work part time and live my life, or I can move out, work full time, and it's 100% of my wages to live in an apartment. How do I eat? How do I put gas in my car? Right? It wasn't that way when I was in college. I worked one 40-hour job. I had one roommate. I ate out one meal a day. I bought whatever food I needed to buy from Walmart and I put gas in my car. I paid my own car insurance and I had money left over and did not even know how to be frugal yet. I probably wasted 20% of my income back then. 40 hours a week, $8 an hour, roommates, decent apartment, 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartment, decent, brand new, decent apartment, kind of small, thin walls, sure. I'll grant you that. Nice location, Fayetteville, Arkansas, which the system keeps saying is like the best small town possible. It's over fucking rated even back then. And people like to say, "Oh, well, Northwest Arkansas is booming." Yeah, it's been booming since the '90s. It's never not booming. Who cares? Go live there. It's not everything it's cracked up to be, and it's just as hot and humid as the rest of the fucking state. It's at a slightly higher elevation. So it's just as hot and humid as the rest of the state with a worse winter. Go for it. Go for it. Enjoy yourselves. You can maybe still buy a house there. Maybe. Okay, great. Have fun. It's a corporate hellscape. One of the world's largest brick and mortar retailers is headquartered there. Go have fun. Enjoy yourselves. You're not going to see me there unless I'm passing through. And I didn't even have to pass through this time. So I didn't have to go to Baxter County from Fort Smith, which would have taken me through Fayetteville. And you know, it's funny, man. Like I have memories, and me and my first ex-wife, number one. When I drive past this apartment complex that me and her lived in Fayetteville, it's just like I almost can't relate to it anymore. It's like I'm not even that person anymore. That's so many versions of Benton ago. It's like I just look at that place. I'm like, did that really happen? Did I really live there? It doesn't even look like. It just looks like a fucking. It looks like I don't even know how to describe it. It's crazy. Just looking at the apartments. Like, is this for real? The big old billboard, Narcan saves lives. I'm in Oklahoma, reddest of the red. You know, oh, they're morally superior. Sure, they're not. It's fine. I accept people. I accept that this is how people are. I'm just not willing to say, oh, because they identify with red instead of blue, set tripping, that they're somehow moral. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're just as immoral as the Democrats. It's just in a different way, right? I'm still getting creeped on in fucking MAGA country, and I'm getting creeped on in LA. Same fucking. What's the difference? What's the motherfucking difference? Yeah, that's right. Fuck your pharma industrial complex. That's right, Resman. Fuck them. Oh yeah, let me rinse the mouth out before I forget. I do enjoy a good road trip. I must say, I like to drive. So. And part of me said, "Fuck it, I can be lazy and hang out in this motel, and I can deal with the depression. I know how to not become depressed just from staying in this motel for a month." But fuck it. I mean, the weather is conducive to crossing the desert. I'm looking at the weather. I'm like, well, shit. Yeah, a month from now, I'll still probably be able to cross the desert. But so what? Might as well go now. Maybe I would want to go to Austin or whatever. It's already 100 degrees in Austin and San Antonio. It's like, good Lord, not going to Texas then. I-40, man. I-40, bitches. Uh, Route 66, pretty soon. I think this is already the Route 66 portion, I believe, right? Or is that, I don't know, where does that, it goes south out of Chicago and hits, general vicinity I-40 at a certain point. Somewhere it becomes old Route 66. So there's something to that, man. The Mother Road, as they call it. There's something to that. And that is the Mother Road. Route 66 is Chicago to Los Angeles. Oh, you wouldn't be caught dead in Los Angeles. The same motherfucker that'll say that and talk about California will talk about how wonderful Route 66, Americana, the Mother Road. Yeah, Chicago to Los Angeles. So what are we talking about? LA is just as American as the rest of it, folks. I hate to break it to you. It's just as American as the rest of it, for better or for worse. You're gonna tell me? I'm not down with it, man. If I'm gonna identify as an American, which I'm not even really able to do increasingly, right? Take it all, man, warts and all. Take all of it. That means we're all goddamn Americans. Which really there never was in America. It only exists in a delusion. It certainly never was what it claimed to be. Ever. It never was great. Did the bankers use it and prop it up for the military might? Yeah, of course. All of that happened. But, I mean, official fiction anyway. I don't actually know what happened. But, Meanwhile, I'm glad I never traveled to the other side of the map and then murdered the motherfuckers that lived there. Few things worse than that. I can't imagine many things, me doing some shit. Oh, you mean I'm going to go all the way to the other side of this map over here and just start slaying the people that live there? That doesn't sound right. Oh, well, but they did this, that, and the third. Okay, well, I guess it's okay then. Are you crazy? What? Oh, Razvan's going to Greece. In Greece, see, I'm glad you brought up Greece, because Greece during the 0809, Greece was the big country where the European Central Bank forced austerity onto Greece, because the Greek people had actually done what Americans would like to think is possible, but Americans never actually managed to do, which is to force the government to give the people a lot of entitlements and retirement and do a lot of things for the people, right? So the Grecian people, the Greeks, had all of this great retirement, and they were able to actually enjoy their retirement and all of this stuff. Apparently, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't actually this wonderful, but compared to what Americans go through in retirement. It certainly was. And so, in order to bail out Greece during 0809, the European Central Bank forced austerity on them, which meant they were able to get rid of a lot of those entitlements, right? Well, part of American culture is we mostly only ever had them through pensions, through working, right? But through corporations. And then at a certain point, the corporate hellscape just started stealing the pensions and people just put up with it. And something we started to hear in the last 5 years or so, and certainly have heard, since Trump became the president, was this idea of austerity. If we read some of these news articles, talk about, they actually use the word austerity. And that used to be, one of the third rails of American politics used to be some idea of austerity, right? It used to just be, it couldn't even be spoken on some level. Now you're starting to hear about it. Just, oh, well, the people are going to have to do it, get by on less or whatever. And that, whatever the actual dictionary definition of the word austerity is. So when you start seeing that in the news articles, that's a bad fucking sign, man. And what do Americans always say? Well, you don't want socialism. It's like, motherfucker, we already got all the bad shit about socialism. Austerity just means we don't get the good shit. It means the people don't get any of the benefits. So we already have the corporate socialism, the corporate welfare, but now it's like, okay, the people have allowed themselves to be indoctrinated to not want the positive, the arguably positive, at least, power to the people aspects of socialism. But then simultaneously, it's like, let's give all the fucking corporate welfare to the banks. You can talk about welfare queens all you want. The biggest welfare queen are the banks. 1.15 trillion in interest on the national debt last year. The banks. Right. The banks. They take more than any. It's like 60 to 70% of the income taxes. So you can't really talk to me about whatever little bit of money people get. Oh, Section 8 and food stamps and, Social Security insurance, SSI, right? It's like, yeah, if you want to only give it to people that are from here, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But why shouldn't the people that are from here get something, especially when all of this money is going to banks? But then simultaneously, I'm expected to go out here and produce to make rich corporations richer so that the government can seize a portion of my blood, sweat, and tears and wages and give it to bankers who are already so rich that 10 generations from now, their offspring won't have to do anything. Like, how is that just and proper? It's not. It's not just and proper. It's fucking wrong. It's full stop immoral. And it's another bathroom break. So, I need to do this before we get into OKC proper. Actually, I'm on the west side of this is basically like this is the west side outskirts of OKC. Now that I noticed, this is where when I finally got ex-wife number 2 to go out west with me and live in that bohemian traveler homeless lifestyle, which she ended up loving and still lives to this day. Of course, she found her a fellow with an RV, and good on her. But good for her. Certainly left her better than I found her. But let's not get into that right now. But this, we were going to leave on we were going to leave a particular day, and then she started pissing me off, man. And I finally just said, fuck it. She was hawing around about getting her ducks in a row. And I finally just said, fuck it. We're leaving tomorrow, not the day after. And because of whatever that was, a big ass tornado came through here and like fucked a bunch of shit up, like right where I'm at right now. And this was, we would have driven right through here. Not that the tornado would have killed us or whatever, but the fact that we got out of there a day early certainly beneficial. Ended up being beneficial. Spiritually guided and protected. There's the Dutch Bros. I don't know if I could have waited until I got out here to have Dutch Bros or not. Shout out to Dutch Bros. And yeah, you can call it Dutch Brothers, but it's technically Bros. But either way, who cares? Just the hilarity of how these in this urban and suburban sprawl, just the way these parking lots are laid out. Just trying to drive to where I'm trying to, just hilarious, dude. It gets just I can't even describe. And of course, out of nowhere, here comes a car to meet me. Let's have the four-way face-off with no cars here. Let's just out of nowhere. Here's a car to meet me at the four-way stop, and then just so what I do is I just stop short. I slow down and just stop short because it's like why do I need to come up there so we can look at each other? Meanwhile, she's making a right turn. It's like why do it? And now there's a car in the wrong lane just directly driving at me. And how do I know from experience that this is exactly what I'm going to encounter? All I'm trying to do is go over here to the Murphy and go into the little bathroom, which hopefully is available at this time of the morning. We'll see. If not, we'll have to go into the Walmart. Anyway, BRB. BRB. And see, now we get back to the surrealism and the unreality. So I walk out of the bathroom of the Murphy Oil, right? It's just a little building, where it's gas pumps. It's a little building in the parking lot of the Walmart Supercenter, and there's nobody at the pumps, but the fuel guy's here delivering fuel. So he's actually roped off a couple of, he's got the cones out, and then a bunch of these pumps are out of order. Also, I now see. And so I'm the only car at the pumps. Actually, that I see one now. There's a couple more on the other side, but I open the door. I open the door to the leave the bathroom, start walking towards my car. There's nobody there. There's the fuel guy, right? He's there. There's cones blocking the fuel lanes. I'm not getting fuel, so I just pull up and know I can back out. Why is there a guy in a white pickup truck, a full-size white pickup truck, diesel, that's driving directly towards me? Right. That's a spiritual attack. And now I see he's just back on the road. He's right there. He's leaving. What was he trying to do? So this guy, I come out of the bathroom, he's immediately driving towards me. So what he was going to do, if the cones weren't there, he was going to just drive right at me and force me out of wherever I was walking. And so I've already trained myself. As soon as I saw him coming, I just start I slow my movements down in an exaggerated fashion to let him know, like, hey man, you're free to come over here, but you're going to have to wait until I'm out of the area. And then I just start staring at him like, really? Really, bitch? That's unreal. That's surreal. That ain't real, man. Baked into the cake of this, and I'm now behind him. What was he doing? That's the same fucker. And now we're sitting. Now we're sitting at a fucking stoplight, just sitting here, right? Green light. We're just sitting here, and I'm honking my horn. Like, what is this? What are these people doing? You know, that's a spiritual attack. How else can we explain that he tried to fucking drive right at me? I came out of the bathroom. He's forced to stop and back up because of the cones, and then just gets back onto the road and leaves. Like, what is that? You know, it's unreal. It's surreal. And I would challenge any of you, if you're man enough or woman enough, train yourself to be very observant of your environment. See, I made this mistake, this blessing slash curse. It is a blessing in many ways, but I noticed a whole bunch of shit I just never would have noticed in the past. It's when I was getting good at poker, I realized, well, I have to make myself I need to be very observant of my environment. It's very important in poker, right? And now that I can't unlearn, now I notice everything all the time, right? Uh, it's like, what is that? Like, how is there perfectly a car to try to do the face off with me at the four-way stop? How is there perfectly this guy just headed for that area when I just happen to come out of the bathroom, and then he can't even physically get through there? And I chose that side because it was like, well, fuck, I'm not getting fuel anyway. I might as well go, and I know I can just back out of here, right? Like, this is not explainable other than what? Unreality and surrealism. If this was a real realm that is what it purports to be, I don't believe a lot of this would even be possible. I really don't. A lot of this simply would not be possible. And this idea that folks are supposed to join into a business system, right? A system of business, and then go out here and put an honest effort into, making an economy, making a country. But then this is how people are behaving. Just watch their behavior, and it doesn't mesh. It's like, this can't be a realm of economies and businesses and growth and progression in the way it claims to be. But then this is how the people are. Like, it doesn't match. If it really was that, these people would not be the way they are. They'd be different people. They would behave differently. Like, this shit ain't possible, strictly speaking. It's just not. Right? It does not go together. It does not mesh. They're going to make us go slow through the construction zone. We got the state worker in the pickup truck been sitting on the side of the road to pull out in front of us, which is fine. I don't care. I'd rather go slow through the construction zones. I know I have to go 80 to the merge point, or it's just everybody just wants to have a race at the last second. It's like, all right, well, I got to outrun these motherfuckers to the merge point. So now I'm racing. Oh, never mind. They're state workers. Oh, it's the Popo. Okay, Popo's. I don't know what he's going to get him a donut, I guess. And then you want to talk about how horrible cities are, but then overwhelmed and health epidemic. Why are West Virginia, Arkansas? Because there's no actual cities in either state, as far as there's no large metropolitan areas in West Virginia or Arkansas. When you just start naming cities, nobody's naming cities in West Virginia or Arkansas. It's like, yeah, you'll at some point people will be like, maybe Northwest Arkansas and Walmart will get mentioned, but we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other areas before we get to Arkansas or West. You know what I mean? Like, What's it? What's the largest? I don't even know what's the largest city in West Virginia. Is it Charleston? I don't even fucking know. That's right. The EU made them poorer, Brad's man. Talking about Greece. Oh, you're going to Romania? That's cool. Brad's man headed back home to Romania. Good on you, sir. I might stop and play a little poker along the way just for fun, maybe. Probably not. Probably not. I think it's almost egg time, though. I'm looking for somewhere to stop. So, at the risk of yurting the stream, we'll probably wrap it up once I find a decent spot to pull over. Although my car is not yet organized, I'm realizing it's going to be it'll be a bit of a thing making the eggs, but that's all right. Maybe I'll find a rest. See, now we're coming into OKC, though. There's probably not going to be a rest area, tables and such. Whatever. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Grand Casino Hotel Resort. I don't know if they have a poker room or not. If they do, there's probably no games going at 7:22 a.m. My sleep schedule does not align with poker. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm asleep during peak time. Although that might change in the near future. We shall see. Oh yeah, hang on. Let me plug the phone back in. Oh, 70, no tolerance. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're pretty strict in Oklahoma. But of course, this car is going to speed up. That's just human nature, though, to speed up when somebody's trying to pass. I guess we'll slow down, get behind them. All right. All right, here's the loves. I guess that'll do. Won't look out of place, at least. All right, I'm out of here. I'll probably be back since it's a road trip. What else am I going to do? Thanks for watching. Bye.